First contact's price. The quantum sensors aboard Earth's Lunar Defense Station Beta weren't designed to detect tears in spacetime. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her readings, wondering if lack of sleep had finally broken her mind. The fabric of reality seemed to be stretching 200,000 kilometers from Earth's orbit. Director Matthews, she called, her voice steady despite her racing heart. You need to see this. James Matthews, director of Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Program, moved to her station. His weathered face reflected the blue glow of multiple holographic displays. Talk to me, Dr. Chen. Something's pushing through normal space. It's like watching someone press against a rubber sheet from the other side. Sarah's fingers danced across her console, bringing up more detailed scans. Energy readings are off the charts, but they don't match any known pattern. Before Matthews could respond, space itself seemed to tear open. A ship emerged, if you could call it a ship. The vessel looked more like a crystalline coral reef, organic shapes flowing into technological components. Its surface rippled with iridescent patterns, and it trailed wisps of what looked like luminescent steam. It was also clearly damaged. Great chunks were missing from its hull, and what appeared to be emergency force fields flickered weakly around multiple breaches. All stations, yellow alert, Matthews commanded. Get me the Secretary General. Now. Before the call could connect, more spatial distortions appeared. 3 larger vessels emerged, their designs drastically different. These ships were all sharp angles and threatening spines, their hulls of deep purple-black that seemed to drink in light. The crystalline ship broadcast on all frequencies. The message was a jumble of mathematical equations and quantum state descriptions that took Earth's AI systems 3 precious minutes to decode. Please help. We are Rodari refugees. The Nexian Empire follows. They will kill us all. We beg sanctuary. We can offer knowledge, technology. Please help. The pursuing vessels, presumably Nexian, transmitted next. Their message decoded instantly, suggesting they'd studied Earth's communications. This is Warmaster Vex of the Eternal Nexian Empire. The criminals you see flee imperial justice. Surrender them or face consequences. You have 10 minutes to comply. Secretary General Helena Rodriguez appeared on the main screen, her expression grim. Director Matthews, analysis. Matthews straightened. The refugee vessel's tech is centuries beyond ours, but the Nexian ships, their technology appears millennia more advanced. Standard protocol would suggest non-intervention. The Rodari ship has families aboard. Sarah interrupted, earning sharp looks. Sorry, but I'm detecting at least 30 children in their life support pods. Rodriguez was silent for exactly 5 seconds. We didn't climb out of Earth's gravity well to become the kind of species that hands children over to their executioners. Director Matthews, deploy the fleet. All ships to defensive positions. Dr. Chen, transmit to the Rodari. Sanctuary granted. The Nexian response was immediate. A beam of purple energy lanced out from the lead ship, deliberately striking Madagascar. The island nation vanished, replaced by a perfect hemisphere carved into Earth's crust. 8 million people, gone in an instant. You were warned, Warmaster Vex transmitted. The Nexian Empire has ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. Your species was hunting prey with sharpened sticks when we built our first Dyson sphere. Submit, or your species ends. All ships, open fire, Rodriguez commanded, her voice cold with fury. Show them humanity's answer to threats. Earth's fleet attacked. Fusion-powered missiles and plasma beams struck Nexian shields that hadn't failed in millennia of conflict. The Nexian ships didn't even bother returning fire, instead launching devices that burrowed into Earth's crust. Tectonic weapons. They're going to shatter the planet, Sarah realized. Secretary General, we need to evacuate. No, Rodriguez interrupted. We need to show the galaxy that humanity doesn't bow to bullies. She opened a channel to the Rodari ship. Get your children to safety. You'll find sanctuary elsewhere. Earth's final act will be denying the Nexian Empire their prey. The Rodari captain's translated voice shook. You would sacrifice your world for strangers. We're sacrificing it for the right thing. Now go. The Rodari ship limped away as Earth's fleet launched its final assault. Nuclear warheads bloomed against Nexian shields. Magnetic accelerator cannons fired tungsten rods at appreciable percentages of light speed. The Nexians weathered it all, their tectonic weapons burrowing deeper. Sarah Chen watched her homeworld's final moments, tears floating in the lunar station's zero gravity. But she also smiled, because she knew something the Nexians didn't. 3 months ago, she discovered an entirely new way to manipulate quantum fields, one that could alter the very laws of physics in a localized area. The prototype was small, untested. But now, Director Matthews, she said quietly, remember that project I wanted funding for? The one you said was impossible. She pulled a device from her lab coat. I built it anyway. The device was elegant in its simplicity, a quantum processor connected to a dark matter core. When activated, it would create a bubble where the strong nuclear force simply stopped working. The Nexians never saw it coming. Their shields were designed to stop energy and matter, not changes to fundamental forces. Sarah's device detonated between their ships. In the bubble it created, atomic nuclei could no longer hold themselves together. 3 Nexian ships, representing the pinnacle of galactic engineering, dissolved into clouds of free quarks and leptons. Their atoms literally forgot how to be atoms. Message to Nexian Command. Rodriguez broadcast to the galaxy at large. Humanity just reverse-engineered a fundamental force of reality and weaponized it in 3 months because you made us angry. Consider carefully what we'll do with a year of preparation. This is your only warning. The quantum readings from the Nexian ship's dissolution gave Sarah dozens of new ideas. Humanity had lost its cradle, but they gained something far more valuable: knowledge that the galaxy's ancient powers weren't invincible. As evacuation ships lifted from Earth's dying surface, Sarah Chen began drawing plans. The Nexians thought they'd taught humanity a lesson about submission. They were wrong. They taught humanity how far they needed to go to survive, and humanity was a very quick study. The silent response. Mars Colony 1 was never meant to house 5 billion humans. Yet 3 years after Earth's devastation, humanity had transformed the Red Planet into something unprecedented. Not just a refuge, but a fortress. Admiral Helena Rodriguez, formerly Earth's Secretary General, stood in the underground command center, studying holographic displays of construction projects across the solar system. Her hair had more gray now, but her eyes burned with the same determination they'd shown during the evacuation. Status report, Dr. Chen, she commanded. Sarah Chen looked up from her quantum engineering station. The past 3 years had aged her too, but there was an edge of excitement in her voice. Project Prometheus is ahead of schedule. The quantum cores are stable, and the dark matter containment fields are performing beyond expectations. Show me. The main hologram shifted to display a massive construction facility hidden within Ceres. Inside, something was taking shape that would change the galaxy forever. A warship, but one unlike anything ever built. The Nexians think they broke us, Sarah explained, manipulating the display. Their spies report what we want them to see. Refugees struggling to survive on Mars, our military reduced to defensive installations. They have no idea what we've actually been building. The ship in the hologram was beautiful in a terrifying way. Its hull was composed of overlapping plates that seemed to shift and flow, each one containing millions of quantum field generators. The entire vessel was designed to manipulate space-time itself. The U.S. Remembrance, Rodriguez said softly. How many more can we build? 5 more are already under construction. Jupiter's moons have more resources than anyone suspected. And the Rodari refugees. Sarah smiled. Their crystalline technology interfaces perfectly with our quantum systems. They've been invaluable. And the crew. Captain Maya Patel has completed the neural interface training. Her mind can handle direct connection to the quantum processing core. She'll be able to think in 11 dimensions. Rodriguez nodded. When humanity fled Earth, they'd brought their greatest minds and their burning desire for justice. The Nexians thought they'd crushed a primitive species. Instead, they'd forced humanity to evolve. Deep within Ceres, Captain Maya Patel floated in the quantum interface chamber. Her consciousness expanded through the ship's systems, feeling every quantum field generator, every dark matter injector. The remembrance wasn't just a vessel. It was becoming part of her. Neural interface at 97% compatibility. The medical AI reported. Captain Patel's brain architecture is adapting to quantum perception. Maya opened her eyes, now glowing faintly with quantum energy. Through the ship's sensors, she could perceive reality in ways the human brain was never meant to process. She saw probability waves collapsing, watched quantum fields interacting across 11 dimensions. Rodriguez nodded. When humanity fled Earth, they'd brought their greatest minds and their burning desire for justice. The Nexians thought they'd crushed a primitive species. Instead, they'd forced humanity to evolve. Deep within Ceres, Captain Maya Patel floated in the quantum interface chamber. Her consciousness expanded through the ship's systems, feeling every quantum field generator, every dark matter injector. The remembrance wasn't just a vessel. It was becoming part of her. Neural interface at 97% compatibility. The medical AI reported. Captain Patel's brain architecture is adapting to quantum perception. Maya opened her eyes, now glowing faintly with quantum energy. Through the ship's sensors, she could perceive reality in ways the human brain was never meant to process. She saw probability waves collapsing, watched quantum fields interacting across 11 dimensions. The Nexians rely on technology they barely understand anymore, she said, her voice resonating with subspatial harmonics. They've used the same shields, the same weapons, for thousands of years. They forgot how to innovate. In labs across the solar system, humanity was remembering skills the Nexians had forgotten. They weren't just rebuilding. They were revolutionizing physics itself. The quantum dissolution weapon that destroyed the Nexian ships had been just the beginning. Sarah's team had learned to manipulate strong and weak nuclear forces to twist electromagnetic fields in ways that violated what physics said was possible. They discovered that dark matter could be shaped into computational structures more powerful than ordinary matter computers. The Rodari refugees watched in amazement. In 3 years, humanity had advanced more than their species had in 1,000. The drive to survive, to protect, to avenge. It pushed human minds to break through barriers other species thought unbreakable. We're receiving another transmission from Nexian space, a communications officer reported. They're demanding our yearly tribute of resources, claiming it's protection money for allowing us to exist. Rodriguez smiled coldly. Send them the same response as always. Beg for more time. Claim we're struggling to mine enough with our primitive technology. She turned to Sarah. How long until the fleet is ready? The Remembrance can launch in 3 days. The others will follow within 2 weeks. And Captain Patel. Sarah checked her readings. Her neural integration is complete. She can perceive and manipulate quantum fields as naturally as we move our arms. Maya's consciousness stretched through the ship's quantum systems. She felt the dark matter power core pulsing like a second heart. The ability to warp space-time was literally at her fingertips. The Nexians think they know what humanity is capable of, she said, her voice echoing with quantum harmonics. They think they've seen our limits. Rodriguez looked at the hologram of the Remembrance again. It all rippled with quantum energy, ready to rewrite the laws of physics themselves. They haven't even seen us begin to fight. In 3 days, humanity would remind the galaxy why you should never corner a species that turns its limitations into advantages. The Nexians had ruled through fear for 10,000 years. They were about to learn what real fear felt like. Operation Prometheus. Warmaster Vex stood on the bridge of the Nexian Dreadnought Eternal Dominion, watching the holographic display of Mars. 3 years of monitoring the primitive humans had grown tedious. Their pitiful attempts at rebuilding their civilization barely warranted attention. Another transport vessel detected. Warmaster, his sensor officer reported. Primitive chemical propulsion, carrying raw minerals from their asteroid mines. Vex waved dismissively. Let them struggle. Their tribute payments grow smaller each cycle. Soon they'll. The sensor officer's sudden gasp cut him off. Warmaster, massive spatial distortion detected. Space itself seemed to fold inward, creating a lens of distorted reality. Through this impossibility emerged a ship that made Vex's heart stop. It was beautiful and terrible, its hull flowing like liquid metal, quantum energy cascading across its surface in waves of impossible color. This is Captain Maya Patil of the U.S. Remembrance, a voice transmitted on all frequencies. The Nexian Empire committed genocide against Earth. We are here to discuss terms of surrender. Vex laughed, though something in the human ship's design disturbed him. Surrender? You dare. Our empire has ruled for 10,000 years. Your species is barely out of its stellar cradle. Your empire has stagnated for 10,000 years, Maya replied. You've forgotten how to evolve. Let us demonstrate. The Remembrance's hull rippled. Reality screamed. A bubble of altered spacetime enveloped one of Vex's escort cruisers. Inside that bubble, the strong nuclear force increased by a factor of 10,000. The cruiser imploded as its atomic nuclei suddenly crushed themselves out of existence. Impossible, Vex whispered. No species has ever weaponized fundamental forces. We had to learn quickly. Maya's voice was cold. You left us no choice. More spatial distortions appeared. 4 more human vessels emerged, each as impossible as the first. The U.S. is vengeance, dark and predatory. The U.S. justice, gleaming like a sword. The U.S. defiant, crackling with quantum lightning. And the U.S. retribution, massive and inevitable. Vex ordered his fleet to open fire. Weapons that had demolished civilizations lashed out at the human ships. But space itself bent around them, probability waves collapsing in ways that ensured every shot missed. The universe has rules, Maya explained as her fleet moved into attack formation. We learned to rewrite them. The battle that followed would be remembered for millennia. Human ships danced through 11 dimensions, their quantum-integrated captains perceiving. Admiral Rodriguez stood in the newly constructed galactic assembly chamber, facing delegates from 20 different species. Some were energy beings contained in crystalline matrices. Others were massive gas cloud intelligences in environmental suits. A few were so alien that human minds struggled to perceive them. The Nexians bound us with chains of fear for millennia, spoke Kithor, a being of living plasma. You shattered those chains in hours. How? We had no choice, Rodriguez answered simply. They thought destroying Earth would break us. Instead, it forced us to evolve. Dr. Sarah Chen, now Director of Quantum Sciences, brought up a holographic display. We're willing to share our quantum manipulation technology with any species that joins our coalition. The age of Nexian dominance is over. The assembly erupted in overlapping voices and electromagnetic pulses. Share the technology. The Nexians had hoarded their advances, using technological superiority to maintain control. This human offer was unprecedented. Aboard the U.S. Remembrance, Captain Maya Patel felt the quantum ripples of change spreading through the galaxy. Her consciousness, permanently altered by neural integration with quantum systems, perceived probability waves shifting as the balance of power transformed. They're afraid. She communicated directly to Rodriguez through their quantum link. Not of us. Of change itself. The Nexians ruled so long that many species forgot how to govern themselves. Then we'll help them remember, Rodriguez replied. The Nexians didn't just hurt Earth. They stunted the development of 1,000 civilizations. That ends now. The Rodari, their crystalline forms gleaming, were the first to step forward. We offer our knowledge of crystalline computing to the Coalition. Their speaker announced, combined with human quantum science, we can advance further than ever before. Others followed. The myriad gas cloud beings who had secretly studied dark matter for eons. The Orcs, energy entities who understood dimensional physics in ways organic minds couldn't grasp. Each brought unique perspectives, technologies, and ideas. But not everyone embraced change. Deep in Nexian space, on worlds so ancient their original names were forgotten, the remaining Nexian leadership gathered. Their empire had ruled through technological superiority. Now that superiority was gone, shattered by a species they dismissed as primitives. The humans must be destroyed, High Commander Zex declared. Not just defeated, erased. Their very existence threatens everything we build. They control fundamental forces, another leader objected. How can we fight beings who can rewrite physics itself? We have installations even they don't know about, Zex replied. Weapons we haven't used in thousands of years. The humans are powerful, yes, but we are ancient. The Nexians began activating mothballed weapon systems, awakening technologies even they barely understood. Their empire had grown decadent, relying on the same tools for millennia. Now desperation drove them to dig deeper, to remember things better left forgotten. On Mars, Sarah's quantum sensors detected the power signatures. They're activating something massive, she reported. Energy readings unlike anything we've seen. Maya's quantum-enhanced consciousness stretched across space, trying to understand what she perceived. They're drawing power from artificial quantum vacuums, she reported. They're trying to harvest zero-point energy from multiple universes simultaneously. The assembly chamber fell silent. Even humanity's mastery of quantum forces had limits. The Nexians were trying to weaponize reality itself. If they lose control of those systems, they could tear space-time apart, the Vorex representative warned. They would rather destroy the galaxy than surrender their power. Rodriguez's expression hardened. Then we don't give them the chance. She turned to the assembled delegates. You've seen what humanity can do alone. Imagine what we can achieve together. One by one, the delegates stepped forward. Ancient rivalries were set aside. Species that hadn't cooperated in millennia joined forces. The Nexians had ruled by keeping their subjects divided. Now that division was ending. A coalition was forming, not built on fear like the Nexian Empire, but on hope, on the shared desire to build something new. The Nexians think their age gives them power. Maya broadcast to the coalition fleet assembling above Mars. Let's show them what youth and innovation can do. The combined fleet was beautiful. Human quantum ships flying alongside Rodari crystal vessels, myriad gas cloud entities merging with Vorex energy beings to create new forms of existence. Each species brought their own strength, their own perspective. Together, they would change the galaxy forever. The only question was whether there would be a galaxy left when the dust settled. Breaking chains. The coalition fleet emerged from quantum space near the Nexian throne world, a sight unprecedented in 10,000 years. Human quantum ships led the formation, their reality-bending hulls rippling with power. Rodari crystal vessels caught starlight and transformed it into computational energy. Myriad gas cloud beings formed living shields around smaller ships, while Vorex energy entities danced between dimensions. Captain Maya Patel, her consciousness expanded through quantum space, felt the Nexian weapons powering up. They're activating the zero-point harvesters. She transmitted to the fleet. Multiple universe breach events detected. Through her quantum-enhanced senses, she watched in horror as the Nexians tore holes in reality itself. Massive structures, hidden for millennia in fold space, emerged into normal spacetime. Each was larger than a solar system, designed to drain energy from parallel universes. This is High Commander Zex of the Eternal Nexian Empire. The transmission boomed across all frequencies. Surrender now, or we will unmake reality itself. Your coalition cannot stand against 10,000 years of accumulated power. Admiral Rodriguez, commanding from the newly completed flagship U.S. Unity, responded, "You still don't understand. Age means nothing without wisdom. Power means nothing without purpose." The Nexian weapons fired. Beams of pure vacuum energy, drawn from 1,000 parallel universes, lashed out at the coalition fleet. Space itself began to tear. But humanity had spent 3 years learning to manipulate fundamental forces. The Rodari had mastered crystalline computing. The Myriad understood dark matter. The Vorx could phase through dimensions. Together, they were more than the sum of their parts. "All ships, execute Operation Synthesis," Rodriguez commanded. Maya felt her consciousness merge with the other quantum-integrated captains. Rodari crystal matrices interfaced with human quantum cores. Myriad gas clouds provided computational structures beyond normal space. Vorx beings guided them through dimensional phases. The coalition fleet moved as one organism, each species contributing their unique understanding of reality. They didn't just dodge the Nexian attacks, they rewrote the laws of physics around them, turning vacuum energy back on itself. Impossible. Zex screamed as his superweapons began to fail. "We are the Nexian Empire. We ruled when your species were protoplasm." "That's why you'll lose," Maya replied, her voice carrying the harmonics of a dozen merged species. "You stopped growing. You stopped dreaming. You thought power was enough." The coalition fleet struck back. Human quantum weapons shattered Nexian shields. Rodari crystals redirected energy through 11-dimensional matrices. Myriad beings converted dark matter into computational weapons. Vorx entities phased entire Nexian installations into parallel dimensions. But the Nexians weren't finished. In their desperation, they activated their final weapon, a device designed to collapse all local parallel universes into one, releasing enough energy to destroy everything within 1,000 light years. "If we cannot rule," Zex declared, "then nothing will exist." Maya perceived the device powering up, its energy readings breaking every law of physics. The coalition fleet couldn't stop it in time, but perhaps they could contain it. "All ships, link quantum fields," she commanded. "Rodari, establish crystal matrices. Myriad, dark matter containment. Vorx, dimensional boundaries." The coalition fleet formed a perfect sphere around the Nexian device, each ship contributing its unique capabilities. Human quantum technology provided the framework. Rodari crystals channeled the energy. Myriad beings created dark matter computational networks. Vorx entities stabilized dimensional boundaries. Together, they created something new, a unified field that could contain even the power of collapsing universes. The Nexian device detonated. Reality screamed. Parallel universes tried to merge, but the coalition held. "Your empire ends today," Maya transmitted as the coalition's unified field redirected the device's energy. "But your legacy will live on, as a reminder of why power alone is never enough." The contained energy was redirected into fold space, harmlessly dispersing across 1 billion parallel dimensions. The Nexian throne world, seat of power for 10,000 years, fell silent. In the aftermath, as coalition ships began the work of rebuilding, Admiral Rodriguez addressed the gathered fleet. The Nexians thought their greatest power was their weapons. They were wrong. Real power lies in unity, in combining our strengths, in working together to build rather than destroy. The coalition grew. More species emerged from hiding, bringing their own unique perspectives and technologies. The galaxy entered a new age, not of domination, but of cooperation. Humanity had lost Earth, but they'd gained something greater. They'd learned that true strength comes not from weapons or power, but from the ability to adapt, to innovate, and most importantly, to unite. The U.S. Remembrance took up position above the former Nexian throne world. Its quantum hull rippled with new patterns, not just human designs now, but a blend of all coalition species art and science. Maya Patel, her consciousness still merged with the quantum systems, smiled. The Nexians had tried to teach humanity their place in the galaxy. Instead, humanity had taught the galaxy a new way to exist. Together,